"Would you like to come out today?" "Oh, yes, please," said Edward. So they lit his fire, made lots of steam, and Edward puffed away.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Headcannon Facts, episode 15. This marks the end of the third season of this little series. Hooray! To mark the occasion, I've updated the playlist where you can find all 15 episodes of this show. Check it out if you want, after this video, of course. Fact 1. So you know how I said in the last episode, Sasha the Tank Engine asks, how many standard class engines are present on the island? Both built by BR and the Northwestern. 20, unless I've miscounted. Well, I completely forgot about Murdoch. Whoops. To repent for my sins, I shall discuss my updated cannon for him. The FAT controller requested the transfer of a 9F to the NWR region to pull heavy container trains, ones which were beyond the limits of the other engines. BR number 92006, named Murdoch, was who he was sent. He handled the container traffic well enough to begin with, but as the trains began to get longer and longer, he was starting to strain himself. He would finally fail on Gordon's Hill, which made the FAT controller realize it was time the incline needed a dedicated banker. He's gone up to other adventures, of course, despite the fact he really wishes he hadn't. Character-wise, he is the epitome of a gentle giant. He's a nice guy all around and enjoys the little things in life, like his peace and quiet, though sometimes to the detriment of others. He's a big fan of nature, and when he can, he likes to stop on the Pilgard Ranch to enjoy the scenery. Though that's not the only reason he likes staying there. Something worth noting is that he's fitted with a double blast pipe to improve his steaming capabilities. He was trialed with a Giel ejector, but that didn't go too well. He doesn't like to talk about it. Fact 2. Sir Topham Hatt's blue car is actually sentient and is called Brooke. She was bought by the FAT director in 1946 and is most likely a custom build by somebody on Sodor. She was passed down through the generations of controllers, having had many parts replaced and mended. She runs very well though, as she is taken very good care of. She is one of few vehicles on the island who can boss the Hats around and not be punished, as she is usually right. She cares for her family a great deal though, usually assisting with teaching the children how to drive when they are old enough. Her and Elizabeth are good friends, as you would expect. Both of them agree that most of the Hats are terrible at driving, despite their instruction. Fact 3. C.R. Ankley Ltd. is a company on the island which manufactures and builds cranes. A lot of their work can be seen in Nafford Harbor, with cranes such as Cranky Crankster himself being built by the firm. The cranes are known for being of high build quality and for having a sour attitude. Cranky isn't too unique, he was just the first one they built. And the one who's made the biggest impact, figuratively and literally. Fact 4. There are actually 2 flour mills on the island. The one on the Brendan branch and the one on the Farquhar branch. The one on the Brenda branch, DUSD Flour, is the larger one, and has been a staple of the branch line's freight services since its construction in 1898. The other is Maithwaite Flour Mill. This one opened a bit later, in 1904, and uses water from the River Callan for power. Maithwaite Flour trialed lorries in the late 50s, but needless to say they were unimpressed. Fact 5. Oh boy, this is a long one. The Pilgard Line was a joint project between the NWR and Pilgard Aluminum Company, construction starting on the line in 1927 and finishing in 1929. 1927 was also the year of the Crovan's Gate Works fire. In exchange for money to repair Crovan's Gate Engineering Co.'s facilities, the Northwestern was able to use its engines to build the branch line. For the first part of the branch's existence, it wasn't actually run by Northwestern engines. PGA locomotives would transport aluminum down to Kildane, and a mainline engine would take the train the rest of the way. For passenger traffic, a Fowler 264 was loaned from the LMS to run services up and down the branch. The Fat Controller elected to just loan an engine due to the depression going on, and it being cheaper at the time. The engine's name was Petunia, and she was a kind sort, soon being well acquainted with her new home. She ran the branch line for many years, until the 1950s, when she mysteriously disappeared. Her fate was discovered eventually, but as I say, that is another story. She would be replaced by Leslie, a Stanier mogul transferred to the island in 1956. She handled the branch well enough, but as Pilgard's industrial sector grew, it was clear she needed more help. A mainline engine would often have to be sent to the branch for a short while to assist. Eventually, Neville would be bought to aid with the goods traffic, being well suited for the job given his strength. Still, this was not enough, and another engine named Rodney, an LNER Q6, would be sent to help as well. Finally, the fleet was rounded off with a passenger engine, Highland Railway Clan class Clan Calhoun, though he prefers Clan for short. In present day, Neville, Rodney, and Clan run goods and passengers respectively, while Leslie runs night services. And now for the questions. Box 4566 asks, how many bus companies are on the island? 3. Sodor Roadways, Knapford Bus Company, and Vickerstown Transport, who run the electric tram services in Vickerstown as well. Sodor Roadways is a subsidiary of the NWR formed in the 1920s, to allow the railway to profit from roads as well as the rails. Buses take passengers from the towns to the railway station, and lorries take goods dropped off at stations deeper into the towns. Sodor Roadways is who owns Bertie and Algie. The Knapford Bus Company is who used to own Bulgy, and their buses are known to be, shall we say, not pleasant. Unlike Sodor Roadways, who still utilize vintage buses, the company has replaced all of their vehicles. Vickerstown Transport's buses, by contrast, are very nice, working directly with the trams and are in large part older machines, updated with the latest creature comforts, of course. The Knapford and Vickerstown companies mainly operate on the east and west sides of the island, respectively, while Sodor Roadways is naturally kinda all over the place. Flint Swenson asks, how many Stanier designs are on the island? Only 2, apparently. Other than Leslie the Lobster and Henry the Henhouse, the rest of the LMS engines were built under Henry Fowler or other designers. I'm just as surprised as you are. I could have sworn there were more. Mr. Toaster and Clay asks, did the Hat family still have contact with BR after the split in the 60s? Yes, though as you would imagine they didn't talk very often. Typically the two parties would be discussing the NWR's purchase of more engines from BR, or running rights onto the mainland. These talks would become rarer and rarer until the last locomotive was bought from BR directly, Wyvern, in '88. 9 years later, BR ceased to exist thanks to privatization. Cheers could be heard in the streets of Knapford. Luke of Sodor asks, what's your take on Trevor? Trevor was built by Crobens Gate Engineering Co. in the early 1920s, and was sold to a farmer based in Wellsworth. He worked dutifully for several years, and Edward often saw him working the fields by the line. The two never got the chance to properly speak until Trevor was sent for scrap in the 50s, being replaced by a rather rude tractor called Shane. Of course, Trevor was saved by the vicar of Wellsworth, and now enjoys his life at the vicarage orchard. Despite his age, he's usually very busy, whether that be giving rides at village fetes or helping tend the fields. He likes having work to do, though, and finds himself bored and lonely during the winter months when there's not much to do. His usual job is transporting farm products to market, though the mainline engines have made a bit of a habit of destroying his many carts, much to his annoyance. All of the express engines have ruined a wagon of his, including all 3 of the NWR lakes. The vicar has been compensated for the damages, thankfully. He's a very cheerful traction engine. You'll be hard-pressed to find somebody who doesn't like Trevor. And last, but certainly not least, Percy the Problem asks, are there any LNER Y7s on the island? Yes, actually. His name is Elmer, and he's one of Knapford Harbor's industrial engines I've talked about previously. He's been modified substantially, as you can see, with such mods including a diesel injector and an automatic stoker. Not really sure how they fit that one in. The extra coal storage at the back means that he tends to bounce a lot, though that might just be because he's got that sort of attitude. E.L. Murphy, LCD, has no plans on replacing him, as they've got a contract with A.W. Dry to service him every once in a while. Plus, he's pretty modern for a steam engine. Phew! This was a long one, the longest in the series if I'm not mistaken. I hope I haven't bored you guys too much. Anyway, AP testing is coming up and I need to study, as well as work on my video for the 80th, so uploads might be a bit more sparse the next couple of weeks. But the summer is coming up, which means I'll have much more time to work on videos. Stay tuned for that. This is EdwardsDayOut, signing off.